It's time for your daily LSU baseball update with Musso at the box. Now, Matt Musso.
Off and running. Welcome in another edition of Musso at the box. Fired up to have you with us, folks. Folks. 7 days. 1 week from today, LSU opens up the 2025 season. Purdue Fort Wayne at the box at 2 p.m. First pitch on Valentine's Day. We've been counting you up to it now for about 2 weeks or so. We'll continue to do that today and, of course, next week when we kick off game week. Today, the focus is the LSU freshman class, and it is extremely talented, and it is filled with guys who have the chance to make an immediate impact in Baton Rouge in their first season. And we will go through all of them. We will talk about the class as a whole, and I'm very fired up to do that with you here today. So smash the like button if you have not already. Go ahead and get subscribed up to the YouTube channel if you have not already, and on your favorite podcast app. Same way, just search Musso at the box. Hit subscribe. Take us with us wherever you go. That is greatly appreciated. You can follow me on social media as well. Those handles scroll on the screen below. And let's go ahead and get right to it. So, one thing that Jay Johnson has done since he set foot on campus and took the job of LSU baseball head coach back in the summer of 2021 is recruit his ass off and close the deal. Get high-level prospect after high-level prospect away from the MLB draft and to LSU's campus. I reference this all the time. We have played the cut on this show multiple times, and I will reference it again. Before Jay Johnson even coached a game at LSU, he met with the media in November of 2021 to announce the signing class heading into his first season. And he had made some changes in the class, added some guys like a Jacob Berry, and others. And before he had even coached a game, got in front of the media and said, there are guys in this class that will turn down $2 million and come play for LSU. And guys did. And every class since, guys have done that. When you look at LSU's class of 2024, right, the freshmen now in 2025, into their second semester, it is arguably the best one that Jay Johnson has gotten to campus. Arguably, because he's gotten plenty. If you look at the rankings from Perfect Game, their recruiting class rankings for 2024, LSU checks in at number 3. And that comes with a giant caveat. Let me explain. LSU signed 14 players. They got 10 of them to campus. Obviously, Connor Griffin, Cade Caminetti, Cale Fountain, Boston Bateman. Those guys left and went pro. You didn't get all of them. But you got 10 out of the 14 to campus. 7 of those 10 are top 100 players. And LSU's average player rating is 12. For reference, the Perfect Game scale stops at 10. But 9 out of the 10 that you got are rated 10 out of 10. So that takes you up to 12. For reference, one more time, Tennessee is ranked the number 1 class. Georgia Tech is ranked the number 2 class. Tennessee signed got 20 high school commits to campus. 7 of them are in the top 100. That's a very nice haul. Their average player rating, 8.3. Georgia Tech got 22, signed 22. Just 3 of them are in the top 100, and their average player rating is 5.68. So what I am telling you here is the only reason that LSU does not have the number 1 rated recruiting class in the class of 24 per Perfect Game is because they only signed 10 when everybody else signed 2022. When you look at quality over quantity, it is not even close. LSU has the number 1 ranked class. LSU's class is the best in the country when you look at quality over quantity. Again, 10 high school commits to campus, 7 out of the 10 in the top 100. Average player rating of 12. So, quality over quantity. This is arguably the best class that Jay Johnson has gotten to campus thus far. And we'll run through all 10 of them. And some of them we have spoken about plenty, so the conversation will obviously be lighter. Others we haven't talked about enough. And what I want to do is I kind of just want to take them in order of their rating on perfect game. So the highest ranked committed player that LSU got to campus, and yes, class too, as well, is William Schmidt. William Schmidt, per perfect game, is the number 5 rated player in the entire country in terms of high school. We are all very familiar with William Schmidt. We have started to talk a little bit more about him as we've gotten further into our previews and things of that nature. We'll talk plenty about him next week when we preview the pitching staff. But just for right now, if for some reason you are unfamiliar with who William Schmidt is, William Schmidt, again, was the number 5 ranked player per perfect game in the country. 6'4", 190 pounds. He was the number 1 ranked high school right-handed pitcher in the country out of Catholic High School in Baton Rouge. William Schmidt was projected to be a first-round draft pick. When you got closer to the draft, it sounded like he would actually end up going that way and taking, the first-round money. He did not. And he ends up on campus, and it's a huge coup for LSU. Schmidt, I've been fortunate enough to see him twice so far. But if you just want some Catholic high numbers before we get into his LSU stuff so far, he was 9-0 in 2024 with a 0.44 ERA, 63 2/3. He punched out 102. William Schmidt had the best breaking ball in the high school class a year ago. It is a 12-6 curve. That is, it's actually a pretty hard 12-6 curve, and it is absolutely filthy. Again, the best breaking ball in the high school class, and it was one of the top ones in the entire draft. The entire draft, not just high school. Add on that a fastball that can reach 97 at times, but will mainly sit, in the low to mid 90s, and a slider, and they're working on a changeup. So this is a guy who comes in already with 3 pitch mix and a pitch that was the best in the draft when it comes to high school. And it's a secondary pitch, which is massive. Now, as I said, seen him twice. We've kind of run through this a little bit. The first time he got roughed up, it was his first time ever facing college hitters, in that type of controlled scrimmage environment. The hit that really stood out, Jake Brown took him opposite field, double off the left field wall. Not one hop, wall ball on the fly off the, he almost took him opposite field homer. That's a guy, you're going to see a lot of guys like Jake Brown. So it was a little bit of a rough outing, but the stuff still flashed in that outing. Like you could still see it, like you understood it. Last time I saw William Schmidt, we told you, that was on a week ago Saturday, and he threw the best inning of an LSU pitcher. That's when the fastball got up to 97. He punched out the first 2 he faced, and then got a weak ground ball to shortstop. Had a quote-unquote down inning, his second inning out there, but only allowed 1 hit, allowed 1 run, and it scored without the benefit of a hit. He was still getting outs. And then he bounced back very nicely in his 3rd inning of work and threw up another 0. But in that first inning that he pitched a week ago Saturday, William Schmidt looked like the first rounder that he was projected to be. And he's got a really, really bright future. And he has a chance to fill multiple roles for LSU here in 2025. We will obviously talk more about those when we do indeed get to the pitching preview next week. Moving on, the next highest rated is Derek Curiel. He was the number 10 overall prospect. I also should say with William Schmidt, he's the highest ranked prospect to ever make it to campus for LSU. So I also should note that. Derek Curiel, number 10 overall in the nation per perfect game in high school, 6'2", 175 outfielder out of California. We've talked plenty about Derek Curiel. This will be a very short conversation. I will just say what I've said over and over again. You look at him and you go, okay, yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like. He's got 4 out of the 5 tools already. The power will eventually come. He will put on more weight onto a 6'2" frame. In fact, he's already added 7 pounds from what Perfect Game had him listed to what LSU has him listed as 182. I believe he will start day 1 for LSU, and it'll be tough to get him out. The hit tool has been fantastic so far, uses all fields. He's got an elite glove in the outfield, can play any of the outfield positions, and at one day does project to be LSU starting center fielder. He feels like he's kind of next in line. Like he's like, as I said, he's that player that we've all seen come through LSU, and you look at him and go, yep, nope, that's what it looks like. We've seen that guy before. That's Derek Curiel. If you want more on him, go back and listen to just about any episode that we've done here in the last 2 weeks. He's mentioned, I promise. He's just been that incredible. Next in line would be Cade Arambidi, the catcher. We've talked about him plenty as well, so this will be very short, but he was the number 13 overall ranked player in the high school class of 2024 per perfect game, 6'3", about 207 pounds, out of Tomball, Texas. Tomball High School, great baseball program there. Arambidi was the number 1 ranked high school catcher in MLB.com's 2024 draft rankings. And you got that guy to campus, and you should be very happy. The hit tool has shown out so far in his time at LSU in these preseason scrimmages, both in the fall and in the winter preseason. He has an absolute cannon of an arm that he is not afraid to show off. He has a very bright future and will factor in and could at one point this season end up being LSU starting catcher. The caveat I've thrown out is it's been a little bit of a struggle for him defensively early. Some inconsistencies in throwing runners out, decision-making on when and where to throw the ball. Although you've also seen growth in that aspect already as well. We talked about that in the catcher preview episode if you want to go hear the specific examples. So I don't necessarily know if he's ready to just step in immediately behind the plate, but that is a guy who could absolutely be in the lineup day number 1 in the DH role or something like that. And he is a guy you will see opening weekend, probably behind the plate as well, but definitely in the lineup. The bat has been, it's been fantastic for Cade Arambidi, and it's a lot of gap power. Homers are going to come for him for sure, but the guy abuses the gaps with doubles and things of that nature. So great addition there. Next is a guy that we have not talked about a lot, and that is Cooper Williams, left-handed pitcher, true freshman out of Alvin, Texas, 73rd ranked prospect in America, high school ranks by perfect game for the class of 2024, 6'4", 200 pounds. Not only was he the number 74 overall prospect, number 12 left-handed pitcher in the country. Was phenomenal as a senior, 10-4 record as a career, but you're looking at a 1.34 ERA and 152 strikeouts and 99 and a third career innings in high school. He was awesome. Alvin High School, also in Texas, just a juggernaut when it comes to sports. Not just baseball, but I mean sports in general. Their football team's incredible. He also landed on Perfect Game's top 75 freshman list at number 67. Got to see him for the first time. I believe that was Saturday, a week ago Saturday. I take that back. It's a week ago Sunday. And came away very impressed. And he's a guy that's kind of been rising up for LSU here down the stretch and lately. Maybe not a guy that many thought coming in would have a big role, but LSU's numbers at left-handed pitcher are thin, and Cooper Williams has done very well. I will tell you this right now. When I saw him a week ago Sunday, good fastball from the left side, 90-93, so kind of right where you want that to be. A good breaking ball as well, 75-80, and then a changeup to go with that at around 81-82. He threw 2 2/3 innings. Just gave up 1 run, punched out 3. He was very effective, and what made it stand out is the lineup that he was doing it against. These are the hitters that Cooper Williams faced. Cade Beatty twice, Chris Stanfield, Derek Curiel, Bear Jones, Stephen Milam, Danny Dickinson, Tanner Reeves, Michael Braswell, and Jake Brown. He also faced Jake Brown twice, by the way. They brought him in a situation where Brown was at the plate, lefty, and he gets a ground out to first base. That's an interesting thing to see. Okay, so you look at him you got to see him kind of in two roles. Lefty matchup, but then he also got 2 full innings after that and acquitted himself very, very nicely. I was impressed with Cooper Williams, and he's in that category of guys I want to see more of to kind of try to figure out a role. Because as you said, you saw him there go a little bit of an extension, 2 innings, maybe middle inning guy, right? But you also saw him in a lefty-lefty matchup. So we could talk a little bit more of that when we get into the pitching staff preview. But Cooper Williams is the guy that's starting to kind of rise here for LSU as they near the season. And that's great because it's another left-handed arm. Speaking of pitchers who are rising and turning heads, Kason Evans. Kason Evans, just the background on him real quick. Number 74 ranked player nationally by perfect game in the class of 2024. 6'2", 6'2", 194, out of Houston, went to St. Pius High School in Houston. What stands out the most about Kason Evans, well, I mean, he can throw 98, 99, but he is a freak athlete on the mound. This is a guy that was highly regarded as a two-way player coming out of high school. Right-handed pitcher as well as shortstop. He also caught in some showcases with perfect game and things of that nature. As a shortstop, just as a shortstop, mind you, Kason Evans was ranked the 19th best shortstop in America. Okay, number 9 overall best high school player in Texas. So this guy has freak athletic ability. He moves great getting off the mound, as you might expect. So he fields his position very well. And oh, by the way, did I mention he throws 98 to 99 miles an hour from the right side? He is going to play a role. And it's multiple that he could play. And I'll kind of just leave it at that because I have thoughts, but I want to have more time when we do the pitching staff preview. I know I've mentioned that a lot, but he's going to be really good. Also on the list of top 75 college freshmen per perfect game, and he checked in right outside the top 25 at number 26. Kason Evans is someone to get really, really excited about. Like, there's a bunch of guys in this LSU freshman class to get really excited about. I mean, Aaron Beatty, Curiel, Schmidt, Kason Evans is right there in that tier with those guys. He's going to be really, really fun to watch. We'll switch back to the infield a little bit here. David Hogg, the second shortstop, middle infielder, comes in from Mansfield, Texas. 6'2", coming in 195 pounds, switch hitter, throws right. Seen him mainly play second base in the scrimmages. We talked about him a little bit in the infield preview. Is kind of in that crop of guys who's not quite ready to step onto the field yet, but they are giving him run in the field and a few at bats here and there in the scrimmages. He was the number 21 ranked shortstop in the country, and hit .411 his senior year. Like, this is a guy who you would expect to have a role maybe a little bit later on in his career at LSU. You'll have some turnover on the infield heading into 2026 season. That's a spot where he could absolutely maybe compete for some time, but could for sure, maybe if you need a late inning defensive replacement, pinch hitter, handles the bat very well. Much more of a contact hitter. He's not going to hit for a lot of power. I mean, he gets up there and immediately chokes up on the bat. He's just trying to make contact and put it in play, and he's done that quite well so far in the few limited at-bats that I've seen him have in the scrimmages. So David Hogg, again, a highly regarded guy coming out of high school, and one that I'm sure we'll see at some point this season for LSU, but it might not be as frequently as some of the other freshmen. Ryan Costello is next on the list. Out of New Jersey, big presence. He was the number 92 overall in the high school class. He is the seventh of the seven not top 100 guys that LSU got to campus. 6'3", 203, hits the cover off the baseball. I mean, hard. It might find the glove, but it's coming at that glove really, really quickly. The thing I will say about him that actually has really impressed me was his work around the bag at first base. He's a first baseman, by the way. We've also seen him in the outfield a little bit, but first base primarily. It shouldn't really come as a surprise. He was the number 2 ranked first baseman in the entire class of 2024, but a guy who good glove work, good feet around the bag already, which is not necessarily normal, for a freshman first baseman coming into college. LSU's gotten fortunate with that with Morgan and then obviously Bear Jones. And now Ryan Costello looks like he honestly could be the next in line to take that spot when Jared Jones goes. They've actually given Costello a lot of run, like I said, in the outfield and at first base. And he's acquitted himself quite nicely over there. It's a guy who hit over 560 his senior year in high school with 14 homers. So the power is real. We'll see how well it translates early, but he's a guy who I think you're going to see get some run early in the season for LSU, whether it be at DH, maybe replacing Jones late in the game at first base. They're going to give him an opportunity to see what he has. Also, on the perfect game list of top 75 college freshmen for 2025, he comes in at number 32. That is Ryan Costello. Next, Mikey Ryan, number 113 overall nationally, out of Rummel. So Louisiana guy, 6 foot, 195, kind of in that vein where David Hogg is, not getting a lot of at bats, getting some sparingly stuff here. He has started in the infield in some scrimmages. The thing that has stood out most to me about him has been the glove, and then the way he handles the bat. So let me explain. The glove's been great. I mean, he's made plenty of awesome plays in the field. We talked about them in one of the scrimmage recaps. It actually was the first scrimmage recap that we did. So if you want to hear more about that, you can go obviously listen there. Also in that, we talked about a sequence with him at the plate where there was he was down in the count 0-2 with a runner at second. And you had a ball get to the backstop. Wild pitch, pass ball, whichever one it was, I can't remember. So that moves the run up to third. But now it's also 1-2. But the key here is the 2 strikes. LSU immediately put the bunt on and asked him to bunt. You've got 1 shot. You foul it off, you're out. He got the bunt down and scored the run. So that shows maturity and an elite ability to handle the bat at the plate. So bright future for him for what it's worth. Also on the top 75 college freshman list, number 69. He should get some run here with LSU. That's just a really tough infield to break in on. But Mikey Ryan's got a really, really bright future ahead here in Baton Rouge, and somebody that we should be plenty excited about. Plenty excited about going forward. We have a couple more. Maverick Rizzi, right-handed pitcher, 6'9", 225 pounds, out of Massachusetts, number 115 player in the country in the class of 2024. I mean, first and foremost, he's a giant. I mean, that's honestly what you should know. He is a friggin' giant from the right side. Number 36 on Perfect Games, top 75 college freshman. The number 1 high school pitcher in the state of Massachusetts, as you might expect, has major league talent in his blood. His uncle plays for the Detroit Tigers. He's a right-handed pitcher, Alex Cobb. He's also pitched with the Rays, Orioles, Angels. Like, he's had a 13-year big league career. Okay. Maverick Rizzi's been mighty impressive. It's a big-time fastball, as you might expect, mid to upper 90s. Nice breaking ball as well. And he's a guy who's going to have a role. I mean, he is going to have a role. This was Jay Johnson back on Media Day about Maverick Rizzi. I think I'm going to hit the correct soundbite here. We'll see.
Got a lot of talent, obviously, but what I've been more impressed with is the poise, composure, mound presence, readiness. Like, he is going to be significant on this team this year, and can be as good as we would want him to be and he wants to be. There's a few specific things we're doing with him that I'm excited about. Coach Yeski has really, pinned some things down, and, you obviously see him, sooner rather than later in terms of the course of the season.
That might have been the cut about William Schmidt that I was supposed to play at the top of the show and didn't. So let's just play the other one as well.
He is really, really good. He has a great background. Brother is a pitcher at Bryant University, which is a really good program. Cousin is a Major League Baseball pitcher, and he's very mature. All the physical attributes are there. 6'9", tough to see the ball in terms of how he releases it. Great off-speed stuff, angle on the fastball, movement on the fastball, strikes, most importantly. And like I mentioned with William, and we have 4 freshman pitchers, and I would put them all into this category. They have a mindset poise thing that is uncommon for pitchers of their age. Like, all 4 of them at some point will move up the ladder this year because they have the physical talent, they have the mental disposition, to withstand, the challenges that come along the way, and then move up. And Maverick is certainly right at the front of that.
That was obviously the one about Maverick Rizzi, but hey, you got to hear about William Schmidt again, too. So there you go. I mean, we've talked about all, the ones that he's mentioned: Casey Evans, William Schmidt, now Maverick Rizzi. We've talked about all of them that he's gone through. And yeah, I mean, the stuff shows with Maverick Rizzi. Saw him in the fall, and it was impressive. Saw Casey Evans in the fall, and it was impressive. Those are 2 young arms, and you throw William in there as well. William Schmidt in there as well, and Cooper Williams, that they all have a chance to contribute mightily for LSU here as freshmen. They're going to have to, because LSU, the one area on the team where you can point to and go, okay, you are actually a little young, is on the mound. Now, you're not completely young. You have some veterans, but the one place okay, yeah, no, that's where you are going to see some youth for LSU is on the mound. Last, certainly not least, is John Pearson, Josh's younger brother. We're not going to call him little brother, younger brother, because there's nothing really little about John Pearson. 6 foot, 248, freshman, obviously out of West Monroe. Outfield, third base. Seen him rep much more at third base here in the scrimmages. Much more powerful hitter than Josh Pearson, obviously. But, I mean, understanding of offensive baseball is high with him. He's handled the bat really well. It hasn't always fallen in, but he's handled the bat really well so far in these scrimmages. And it's just might have an onboarding process with him, but he's played a pretty nice third base as well. So, I mean, you could kind of throw his hat into that ring a little bit. I think obviously he's behind Braswell and Reeves, but he's played a nice third base. So there's a path to the field for him, definitely in the future at LSU. And look, y'all, it's another Pearson. Like, you're not going to turn down another Pearson brother when they go. I mean, you went 2 out of 3 with them. Obviously, Jacob took the money out of high school and went pro. Great for him. But you would have had 3. You got 2. And, I mean, Josh has been fantastic. It looks like John's going to be the same way. So, I mean, it's a huge get as well. He was the top 300 guy in the class, and has played well in the time that you've seen. He's normally started for one of the teams each time out at third base in the scrimmages. So pinch hit ABs, it's probably going to happen for him. Things of that nature, we'll see. Maybe he gets a start in the midweek somewhere. Maybe he gets a start on opening weekend. We'll wait and see, because I have actually been pretty impressed with the ability at third base. But obviously, like I said, behind Braswell and Reeves when it comes to that position. All right, that is your freshman class heading into 2025. All 10 of them, and they're really, really good and show a lot of promise, and could serve as a great foundation, or building upon the foundation that you had with guys like Milam and Brown and Larson in last year's freshman class. Transfer portal's been good to LSU. So is the freshman class. If you ask me, that's ultimately how you build consistent winners and championship programs. You still have to have that mix, But you have to be able to go out and get the big-time players who can come in and impact immediately in the portal. LSU has done that extremely well under Jay Johnson. This crop looks like it's the next. When you look at the newcomers as a whole, transfers and freshmen, Baseball America ranked it the #1 newcomer class in college baseball. They'll take the field along with the rest of the Tigers a week from today against Purdue Fort Wayne to open up the 2024 season. That's going to wrap it up for today. Be sure to smash the like, get subscribed if you have not already, YouTube and on your favorite podcast app. Follow me on social media. Be here next time for more. It'll be game week on Musso at the Box.